Today is May 3rd, 2013. We are at the American Legion in Peoria, Illinois. My name is Cheryl Walker, and I will be interviewing Mr. Benjamin Bishop. Mr. Bishop was born in Peoria, Illinois was born in Cuba, Illinois on May 10th, 1927. Mr. Bishop was in the Navy. He was first in the State Guards, then in the Navy and the Seabees, and then later in the Reserves. His service dates were from November 1942 through August 10th, 1950.
Right.
Mr. Bishop, can you please tell us what your highest rank was?
Seaman second class. Well, private in the State Guard, which was in the 6th Regiment of Infantry here in Peoria, and private, and then Seaman second class in the Navy, and put into Seabees, ended up over Pearl, and come home, got discharged in 46 of August the 10th, joined the reserves for 4 years, and till the 8/10 of 50, and got a letter still saying because of the Korean conflict, still in. I heard nothing since. But I enjoyed the service. And I'm glad I had the chance to be in the service.
Did you enlist in the service?
Yes, I did, because I was in the infantry in the State Guard, and Army wasn't for me. I couldn't swim, but I still joined the Navy at 17 in early 45. And I turned 18 on the 10th, and I was in the service then, and got out at 19 in August.
What do you remember what ship you were on?
Well, I was on two of them. One was the Hermitage, and the other was the Tyson, I believe, or Trison, something. I have some senior moments. But Hermitage was one, and the TRYSO and Trison would be the other one, I guess.
Okay, and where did you enlist at?
Peoria, Illinois. I sent to Springfield for a physical, was sworn in down there at Springfield, Illinois.
And where did you take your basic training?
Great Lakes, Green Bay, Camp Dewey. Then I went to Davisville, Rhode Island for Seabees. And then from there we went to New York or to Treasure Island. I come back to Treasure Island in August of 46 to get discharged at Great Lakes.
Okay. Did you ever go out to sea?
Well, yeah, the Hermitage, I went troop transport ship out of Treasure Island over to Pearl, and then I come back the same way on a troop ship. As far as being stationed as ship's company on a ship, no, strictly for transportation. I was ship's company over at the Navy Yard at Pearl, though.
At Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, it was a ship's called ship's company there, because I ended up being a master at arms of the barracks.
And what did that mean?
Well, you're in control of a receiving station where personnel come and goes, and you have probably 100 men. Some you have to get work details to the different areas, to work details. Some you let out on liberty, and it's more or less it's like in charge of a housing facility for those that was coming and going at a receiving station, called Barracks Master at Arms.
So you lived right there in that area?
Right. I had control of that barracks. I had to put guys out on fire watch, and certain ones I could let go on liberty, and certain ones were different work details.
So you had to make sure everything was covered.
Right. If they needed 10 men for a certain work detail somewhere, I'd have to get 10. Of course, it's hard to get volunteers. You had to go, I want you, you know.
They didn't want to
Yeah.
volunteer.
Oh, man, I got a Charlie horse. Okay.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I got a Charlie horse in my leg.
So how long did you do that?
Well, after the war ended, I probably did it 6, 8 months there before I come back home.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly. Time went.
Were you stationed in Pearl Harbor during the war?
Well, no, the war had ended. Yeah, the war had ended. Yeah, I'm glad that I wasn't in any. I was in. I got the Asiatic Pacific Ribbon and Medal for being in the area, but as far as combat, I'm glad I didn't have to make that choice and to kill somebody or whatever. It's look at the feelings you'd have now knowing that happened. He's coming back now with mental problems due to so many tours over in Afghanistan and places. It's terrible. War is a terrible thing.
What were some of your other job duties?
Well, I worked in a bakery, cook, work other types of work details. That's mess cook down there and pass out the food.
Okay, you said you worked or you did bakery.
Well, I worked in a bakery, pots and pan man.
Okay, so you actually didn't bake things.
No.
But you did pots and pans.
Right. And
Okay.
service, the dirty work.
Well, that's okay.
Just being seaman second class, I didn't have any rank. I couldn't pull rank or anything, so I was low in the totem pole.
But you did at that time. You had to wash those dishes, those pots and pans, by hand.
Oh yeah, it's I worked at mess cook a lot. Help cook some of the food sometimes or whatever. We work details stuff. Go pick up papers here and there, or whatever. Worked in service centers and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And when you had to pick up, the papers, and when you had to wash those pots and pans and those dishes, did they tell you, did you ever have anyone looking over your shoulder and saying, that's not good enough, do it some more?
No, because I watched out for them guys and I did it right. Didn't take no shortcuts.
Didn't take any shortcuts.
Right.
Did you have to work late at night or early in the
Well,
morning?
both. It depends. Where I was stationed.
Mm-hmm.
I went in, when I was in the Seabees, I went in going to be an oiler, worked oil and heavy equipment and stuff, graders and end loaders or bulldozers or whatever, as an oiler. Then I come back and I could get a job as the operating engineer, so I needed to be. But I went back to printing. That was my trade, was a printer.
But in the Seabees, you were an oiler.
Well, I learned to be an oiler, right. I went through the Seabee training at Davisville, Rhode Island, 2 or 3 months there.
So,
Then I got over to Pearl. They disbanded the battalion I was supposed to be a replacement in. They just kept me over at Pearl and put me in a Navy yard. It's a ship's company as a barrack master at arms.
okay, can you explain the difference between the Navy and the Seabees?
Well, the Seabees is the construction battalion, and the emblem of the Seabee is a bee, and he's got a wrench and a hammer. He's got, of course, 6 arms. He's got 2 for a machine gun, and then the rest is hammer and saw and stuff like that. It's called Seabees is C construction, B for battalion, construction battalion. Well, John Wayne made a movie called the Seabees years and years ago. It told how they formed the Seabees.
So were they part of the Navy?
Yeah, oh yeah, they were part of the Navy, called Navy Seabees. They still have the Seabees today, as far as I know, yeah.
So they were a battalion. They weren't a different service branch.
No, they were part of the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Navy Seabees, they call them.
So if somebody asked you what branch of service you were in, you would say Navy.
Say Navy, right. Seabees, and the Navy Seabees, Construction Battalion. That's where the Seabee comes from. It's Seabee, but it's the C. The emblem on our sleeve was a C and a B. We had the Navy whites and blues and stuff. Uniform as a Navy. It was Navy trained, really.
So were you a little disappointed when you got to Pearl that you weren't going to be doing that?
No, really no. They told us the outfit that I was in disbanded, broke up the Seabee Battalion. They were battalions, and disbanded it. So they just kept me over there, which was okay with me.
When you joined the service, did you join with any friends?
Yeah, when I joined from the State Guard, when I joined the Navy at 17, before I turned 18, they said, you go home, we're going to try to get a company of Peoria personnel only for boot camp at Great Lakes. And I waited a while, and they finally got enough where probably half of the company I was in at Great Lakes was Peoria guys.
So did you know all of them?
No, I knew of some, but I still, today, there's still a few. I don't know how many's left, but I'll be 86 in a week, and I don't know if they were older than me or were drafted, put in the Navy. I don't know, but I enlisted at 17.
What made you decide to enlist?
Well, I'd better than getting drafted, because I was in like the State Guard was military, Army and stuff. It was infantry here in Peoria. Army wasn't for me.
Did you have any brothers that were in the service?
Yeah, I had a younger brother. He was in the Army. And I had another younger brother. He was in the Army at Fort Ord, California. Got hurt, and he got in the Merchant Marines. So I still have two younger brothers alive yet today.
When you told your parents that you were joining the Navy at 17, what did they say?
My mom says, "You're going to join the Navy?" I said, "Yeah, but you got to sign for me because I'm 17." So she had to go down to the recruiting office with me and sign the papers because I was only 17.
Were you still in school?
No, I started work at 16 and I wouldn't go to school. My parents said, you'll either go to work or you'll go to school. If you don't go to school, you're going to go to work. So I went to work at Fleming and Potter my 16th birthday, May 10th, 1943. May come along the big flood of 28 feet, 8 inches. It just broke it 70 years later. I got called out on flood duty because I was in the State Guard at that time. Our headquarters were at the Armory here in North Adams. There's a big armory down there. I don't know if you know where that's at or not. That was our headquarters.
Do you remember when you joined the service how much you made?
Well, I think in the papers here, I think it was an $82 plus pay here, checkout pay. It's on here somewhere. Yeah. I thought it was, I couldn't tell you now, but I think it's on there how much that they give you. $82 and something, if I can find it. 82 right there.
Oh my goodness.
82, 81. Oh, the payment, that's on discharge, but yeah, it didn't pay much. Of course, I didn't drink or gamble. Didn't even swear much either at that time.
Now, did you have to buy war bonds? when you were in the service?
No, 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 no. I don't know if I didn't know that anybody had to. I don't know. That was it.
Um, when you got discharged, do you remember coming home?
Yeah, I left Great Lakes, and my mom had moved to Chicago, and Dad, so I stayed up there a while, and then I come back to Peoria to get my job back in Fleming Potter. Yeah, that was August of '46. That seems like, boy, that's a long time, ain't it?
So, was there anyone living here in Peoria?
No, I come back to Peoria and found a place where I could have room and board at the place. So yeah,
But your family had moved to Chicago.
yeah, yeah.
And you decided to stay here in Peoria.
Right, yeah.
And
I was 19 years old and I got out, and so I've been here ever since.
how did you said you got just discharged at Great Lakes, which was
Right.
up by Green Bay.
Right, right.
How did you get back to Chicago?
Well, they had a train service, I guess, North Shore Line or something, if I remember right, and you could go over there because Great Lakes is a big place and a lot of personnel back and forth there, and there was rail service. I don't know what I don't know if it's North Shore Line or what. I don't know. Chicago was too big. I didn't care to stay up there.
Did you take advantage of any of the veterans' benefits?
No, I didn't. I wish I would have taken under the GI Bill some things. No, I didn't. No, I went back to my regular job that I started in '43 for a couple of years.
And how long did you work for as a pressman?
As a pressman, well, '43 to '91. I retired in '91 at 64 plus years. I turned 64 in May and I retired in July of 1991. So I've been getting Social Security for 22 years. Well, I've got a little more out than I ever paid in it. Oh, yeah.
And do you use your veterans? Do you use the VA?
Yeah, I do. Right. Yeah. I used to get all my medicine from the VA. And to this day, I belong still to the VA, and I go out and I got neuropathy, peripheral neuropathy, and I have to go out because of my feet, the tingling and numbness, and the foot doctor takes care of things out there, makes sure, checks my feet, makes sure there's no ulcers, and cuts my toenails and everything like that. They Bob Michael's new place out there, and it's great. Boy, they really treated me great. Dr. Burke was my doctor out there, and I couldn't ask for anything better, really.
Do you still stay in touch with any of the guys that you were in service with?
Well, no, I don't. I don't know. I have their names. I could, and some in Peoria, some through boot camp I see here once in a while. But as far as from there, I don't know. No.
You belong to the American Legion. Do you belong to any other veteran organizations?
No, I don't. Only the VA out here.
Do you have any children?
Yeah, I got 4 left. I had 5 children.
And were any of them in armed forces?
No, no. They're all 52, 4, 5, one is oldest is 58. Well, my son, he did go through. He was out at the San Diego Recruitment Center, got hurt in the Marine Corps, and got discharged. But it's only one. He was a short time in the Marine Corps. one son. Got a grandson that graduated from the Marine Corps out there.
If a young man or woman came to you today and said, I'm thinking about joining the service, what would you say to them?
I'd pat him on the back and say, you're making a wise choice. To go ahead and get that experience and something that'll live with you as long as you live.
What is the one thing, or if there's more than one thing, that you felt benefited your life from your service time?
Well, learning to work as a group, to give and take, it's service is a great experience for a person to go through. Really. A lot of life's lessons to be learned.
Do you think that the draft should be activated again?
Well, it depends how much conflicts we got, because some of these reservists that's been called up has been 3 and 4 and 5 tours. And really, if they'd had a draft, maybe some of them wouldn't have had to go back 3, 4, 5 times. Yeah, I'd kind of go for the draft, If I joined the service, I wouldn't be drafted because I wanted to get it in the branch that I wanted. Right now, everything's all volunteer,
Did you take advantage of like VA loans?
No, I didn't. I belong to VA. They've got some good doctors out there, and they really got a beautiful place out here now in Peoria, a new VA clinic.
They do.
Oh, you betcha. Nice one. Pretty good size. Because they're expecting a lot of veterans from the problems we got now throughout the world where they're getting hurt and need care and stuff.
Do you feel that kids today in school are being taught the right things about war?
Well, I don't know what they're being taught, but they should know that people are being called. It's all volunteer. Some of them are going over and making sacrifices so they could have their freedoms. And I think they should realize that it's going to take people to make sure we keep our freedoms. And it's if they can't get enough volunteers, they're going to have to draft. Of course, our president now wants to downsize everything and will end up with the smallest Navy we've had in 60, 70, 80 years, and smaller Marine Corps, smaller Army, and I think that strength is a deterrent to is keeping us free. If you get to where you're nothing, you're not going to be a superpower. Although we're trying to police the whole world, and that's bad too. It's going to take a lot of them aren't coming back, only in body bags and injured and limbs and stuff. This world's a pretty mixed up place right now. Especially with Iran gets the bomb, and of course North Korea's got it, and they're wanting to wipe Israel off the map, and us too. And there's good and bad, I think, in every race. Not only Americans good and bad, but Chinese are good and bad, or anybody else that's in the world of all the races. There's good Muslims as well as bad ones,
Do is there anything else that you would like to share about your?
No, I just thank the Lord that time I was in the service that I wasn't maimed, crippled, or injured in any way. I thank the Lord for that because you get out to places, you go to these veterans hospitals like Danville, Iowa City, Indianapolis, and see some of these people that's, or you see it on TV, like Duckworth. Now she's lost both legs. There I seen a woman was a combat veteran, both arms, both legs and one arm, 3 limbs out of 4. Can you imagine having to live like that the rest of your life? Boy, that's pitiful. Maybe someday mankind can learn to get along. Instead of having something somebody wants to take it away from you.
That would be nice.
Yeah, yep.
You got 2 ribbons besides all the most common ones. Probably the good conduct and
I never got the good conduct. I got the Asia Pacific and the World War II Victory Medal, the 2.
okay, and you were those because of the time that you were in
Yeah, the
service
time and the area.
and the area.
Yeah.
hmm hmm Now the ships that you were on, the ship that you went out on, how big were they?
Oh boy. There's probably 6 to 8,000, not counting crew. They were troop transport ships. Yeah.
And were they completely full when you went out on them?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't feel much.
No, well, it ain't like the cruise ships today.
Have you ever been on a cruise
Oh,
ship?
yeah, I've been on 3. My brother's taken me on 3, and my wife, but he's been on 35. He's been at every carnival cruise ship there is. Yeah, he's the cruise boy.
So it wasn't like the cruise
No,
ships.
no, no, no. The
It,
cruise ships are nice. They're expensive, but they're nice.
and was the food like that on the Navy ships?
Mm, well, it was served a different way than on the cruise ships.
Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
There wasn't any midnight buffet?
No, no. You ate what they had cooked, and you didn't get a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like to take this time, Mr. Bishop, and tell you thank you for serving our country.
Well, thank you, and for the opportunity here to talk with you and share my. Of course, nothing that some of them have. It's as far as seeing and doing things, as far as like Marine Corps, you got the Marianas, the Gilberts, the different islands, the Solomon Islands, the Philippine Islands, and some of those guys really had it rough. Like Okinawa, Iwo Jima, look at the loss there. There's so many Marines and stuff.
But Mr. Bishop, you served our country also. And you also had a story, and you needed to share your story and tell us your story.
Well, I enjoyed the state guard, except getting called out on flood duty there in '43 in May, 70 years ago, but I enjoyed the service, really.
And I thank you for your time.
Well, I want to thank you very much, and to thank the state or anybody else. It's my pleasure, and again, thanks for the interview here or whatever.
Well, thank you. Thank you for
Now,
letting me share your time.
where's this what's gonna take place with all this stuff that you've been collecting?
Well, I will tell you.